afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now we come to the last sessions of the day, and we have 4 speakers lined up for these sessions. Now I would like to invite the first speaker, Prof. Shanmuga Sundar, from Department of Biotechnology, Tamil Nadu, India. He will give a talk on inflammatory responses of enzyme-based material and its efficacy in drug delivery. Prof. Shanmuga, please.
Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Shanmuga Sundar. I'm coming from Chennai, India, and I work at the Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation. And first of all, I thank everyone for giving me this opportunity, especially the hospitality of the organizing committee. And they made feel very good from the day I landed here. And everyone in the group was very good. And first of all, I want to thank everyone. And let me introduce about the topic which I'm going to talk today. It's about the inflammatory response of vaccine-based materials for drug delivery applications. So basically, before I go into this, let me give my previous studies which I have did related to this. Initially, any drug or something which we go, we need a carrier material because the target has to be reached. Otherwise, the drug is not going to be very efficiently working. So most of the drug getting wasted, or it is going to be destroying the normal cells. So that is where my application is. So I decided during my doctoral degree that I want to find a material that can be used as a possible carrier for any type of drug material. And specifically, my focus initially was on siRNA based materials. So I used initially chitosan. So first I was concentrating more on cancer-based materials because as we know, cancer is like a progressive one where the treatment is very difficult and most of the world's population is affecting because of this. So I wanted to find a material that can be able to efficiently transfer this drug molecule so that it can be targeted specifically on the cancer cells. So there are a lot of materials that are available like polymers, liposomes, and monoclonal antibodies, proteins, and these are always used for as a carrier molecule of the drug. But the problem with this is most of this drug molecule doesn't reach the target site because it gets attacked by the nuclease or enzymatic attack. So it's not properly done, or it is going to be damaging the normal cells. So usually the cancer cells, they have leaky blood vessels. That is where I wanted to focus on because I bring in the nano part into that because nano, if you bring it in, so the nanomaterials can directly go inside this leaky blood vessels and target specifically the cancer cells. So that is what my focus initially was. And the reason why we go for the nanomaterials is because of the large surface to volume ratio, and also it can prevent, the reason why I specifically told chitosan is it can easily bind with the DNA, RNA molecules, and it can easily carry it. And other reason why I choose initially was about graphene oxide, which has the capability to protect any kind of siRNA or DNA from the enzymatic attack, so that the target can reach and knock down the specific gene that causes the cancer. So my initial research was on targeting the BCL2 protein and to knock down that gene. So I used siRNA for that purpose. So basically, we have a lot of therapies like the chemotherapy, radiation, hormone antagonist, and immunomodulation, and all these things. The problem with those all these therapies are that they always possess the problem of damaging the normal cells. Apart from killing the cancer cells, they also damage the normal cells, and also there is a possibility that the cells becomes remnant. The remnant cells always present, and they can come out again as cause the cancer. So the efficiency always gets reduced with this type of therapies that are available. And these are again the kinases and the cytokines types of immunotherapy. All this has the problem of damaging the normal cells. So my initial objective first was to design a material that can carry the drug, and as I pointed out here, it can go inside the cell at the target place and release the drug alone so that the required cells alone is destroyed, not the normal cells. So that is what my objective was. And initially we were successful with chitosan-based nanoparticles, and we encoded with graphene oxide sheets, and we found, before inducing any in vivo studies with cancer, we first found the inflammatory response of these materials. So that was the primary objective. So Maxins, where Maxins come, this is a new field which is like this material is going on well for the last couple of years, specifically for biomedicines, because they have the synergistic effect, like you can monitor the specific real-time monitoring can be done, as well as target drug delivery can be done. Because in our specific, what I focused is I used Maxin-based material with MnO2. MnO2 is, can be used for diagnosing. So that is what, that is why I choose this material. And also these materials have the capability of protecting the RNAs and RNA and DNA type of drug materials from the nucleus attack. So that's what I tried to do. And previously, before vaccines, I was using graphene oxide-based material because of this reason, because chitosan easily binds with the siRNA, and graphene oxide, when it is combined with the chitosan, they have the capability of protecting this siRNA. So this can be used, and also we have tried with other materials like nanofibers, specifically using 5-fluorouracil drug, and we have also published similar results in good journals like Chemical Engineering. And so this is how the complete work was carried out. So we used not the normal MTT assay because in vitro studies, initially we started with the MTT assay and ROS assay, whereas that was showing the results when we go for in vivo, it is completely different. So we just gone with isolation of bone marrow cells, then differentiating them into macrophages. Thereby, we wanted to find out whether it is causing any inflammation or not. So the material was used at different concentrations, and in vivo it was applied on the mice. So these are the characteristics which are identified for chitosan nanoparticles, and these are the same images and FTAR. And the drug release, these things has been studied by many people. So, and we were almost in par with other studies which were reported, and the release kinetics were good because chitosan is more pH sensitive, so it was giving good results. And also, the reason is like they always degrade easily, and it is a biocompatible polymer. That is why we choose chitosan. Whereas all those, the other reason why we chose chitosan and this type of materials are the bioactivity, because it has to form the appetite growth so that it can help in the, in case if it is applied for regeneration, bone regeneration or somewhere, bioactivity is an important point for the integration. So we tested in simulated body fluid how this material works out, and we found this material to be very good in the formation of appetite, which was evident from the studies which were found. And the toxicity and inflammatory studies, as it was well-known, chitosan is not toxic, so that is what we have observed with these are normal bone cells, MC3, T3, E1, and also we try to find out how effective when it is loaded with drug. So it was effective in case of with MG63 cells, cancer cells. And coming to the in vitro studies where we used bone marrow cells, and there was slightly, it was showing some inflammations, but these are the preliminary, comparatively it's not very high. It's only double the time. Usually if it is more 5 to 10 times more, we consider this to be inflammatory. And coming to the Maxin, so these made us to work on the Maxin. So this is, we actually prepared 3 different types of Maxin material. The origin of this is from Max, where we remove the aluminum bed etching, and this is with the MnO2, where these are at the different magnifications of Maxin that was synthesized. And even this was showing good bioactivity. The Maxins were able to give good response. And similarly, this is the where we use this implant on a rat, and we just implanted the material into the rat, and we found, yeah, actually we just implanted this material. We drilled the small in the tibial bone, and we just placed our material to check whether it is causing any inflammation. And our material was found to be very good, and it was also helping in the regeneration of bones. And the rat, sorry, this is actually rabbit, sorry. The rabbit was found to be good after 8 weeks, and it was completely it was completely active, and it was running. And when we tested, it was giving a good positive results. So this was only for the biocompatibility and the bioactivity. We didn't try anything with mice for this samples. So maybe in the future we want to try more on this specific material, because this has the ability of what you call in the early diagnosis also we can use, because of the presence of MnO2, and the biocompatibility and ROSSA was comparatively good for this material. And these are again the inflammatory studies. We're using the bone marrow cells, where we found the material to be compatible. And these are the FACS analysis, where we used two different types of macrophage cell lines, these are in vivo results on mice. And we found that it was not causing any inflammation at a different point, like from until 28th day. But even the qPCR result compared to the positive things, it was not causing any inflammation. That's what observed with the qPCR results. And these are the other maxin derivatives which we have prepared, but it is yet to be tested. These maxin materials has been synthesized in collaboration with Inha University, Korea. And this is one more with titanium oxide, because these can be used as a implant material. So that is what the objective of this synthesis maxins, and also it can be used as a carrier of drugs. So, and as I told, initially we have tried with graphene oxide chitosan, and it had the very good, see, as I was explaining before, this was having very good response, and it was able to protect the siRNA when it is encapsulated with chitosan and graphene oxide. The siRNA was protected very good, and they were able to release at a good pH, at pH 7, acidic pH. And similarly, they were able to give good bioactivity, and the work has been already published in Material Science and Engineering. And the in vivo studies, it's still under review, so we have not published these results yet. The in vitro studies, toxicity and the anti-cancer activity of this material. Similarly, the in vivo on mice of this specific material. But the major problem which we faced with this specific material is that this material, after we have used on mice, maybe after like 3 or 4 months, it was still existing on the mice, because when we have checked after the mice has been killed, we have observed the material to be present on the kidney. That was the major issue. We found this graphene oxide material, but maxins we are yet to test with maxins on mice. So means specifically we didn't allow it for a longer duration. Only for a short duration we have just allowed the maxin to stay on the mice. After that we didn't check. But whereas graphene oxide chitosan, we found the graphene oxide to be present in the mice after 3 months of time. It was observed at the kidney. So maybe the excretion is a problem with the graphene oxide, which we are trying to address it. Maybe we'll try to do any other alteration in the material so that it can be excreted out without any issues. So that is one concern. And the other thing is maxin, I think it has to be explored a lot, because as I told, it has very good thing, and also it can be used for photothermal therapy, where you can use light and activate the biomolecule which can be bound to the material. So that is because they are electrically conductive material. And recently there was a research going on with maxin, where it was used for angiogenesis and nerve regeneration. So where they are applied very well with, I think with polycaprolactone, maxins with polycaprolactone. So I'm also planning to focus one more, add a composite material, so that in the future it can be helpful for other studies. So these are the Luminex immunoassay for graphene oxide chitosan material. And this all confirmed us that the material was not causing any inflammation. So I just wanted to show these results. So finally, as I told, I want to just carry out more on this maxin, so that it can be further taken on to the next level of studies. So these are my research team with whom I was working on this material. The person is from Anna University and Inha University, and most of this animal studies was carried out in collaboration with University of Debrecen, Hungary. So they were completely helping me out with the in vivo studies, and whatever the rabbit models which we used for testing the vaccines were done in collaboration with the Ramachandra University in Chennai. And the vaccine material synthesis part was helped by Inha University, South Korea. And as I told, the in vivo studies, it was by Tempus Public Foundation and University of Debrecen. So they were helping me out with these studies. And finally, I thank everyone for listening to the talk patiently. And also I thank, once again, I thank the hospitality of the university and the organizers, specifically Professor Anna Paula, because she was very kind to help me out in all the situations. And I thank everyone for your presence.
So thank you very much, Prof. Shanmuga. I think it's very interesting. I think we should be able to get more information from him in the next conference. I'm pretty sure of that. I think we still have a time, for just about one questions. If anyone want to ask Prof. Shanmuga related to his project, please. Anyone, please? Yeah, okay.
Very impressive work. So you did some anti-inflammatory work as well, and you used raw cells. And so how actually you did? You culture it, like, is it a long-term or acute kind of culturing?
Raw cells, we can commercially get it, okay? For bone marrow cells, we just isolated. We just taken from the mice. So the bone cell was isolated from the tibial bone of mice. Because the reason why I chose that is the results which I got in vitro when I went for Hungary, they didn't accept the results as positive one. The MTT and the ROSSA, they don't take it. They ask me, because if the cells can be stored for a long duration, and if you're going to test your sample on that, you're not sure whether it is because of the storage or because of your sample, the cells are not dying. So it might have mutated. So they told me to isolate the bone marrow cells from a mice and culture it, and compare it with a raw cell so that we'll get the proper result. So I used the macrophage cells and did that. So that is the reason I have repeated all the studies again in vitro. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Prof. Shanmuga. Now we move on to the second speaker, Prof. Chandramati Raju from Department of Medical Microbiology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Malaya, Malaysia. Her topic is antibacterial, antibiotic potentiating